Okay, so let's see here. We stopped last time. We stopped at the five orders. Organs are not perfect, but hearing really is pervasive, right? Pervasive. That what Manjari Bodhisattva choose the hearing nature instead of others. The presence or absence of the sound and the voice is registered by ears as is or is not. Absence of the sound means nothing here, not hearing the voice of the nature. So the presence or absence of the sound and voice, it doesn't matter whether it's rest as by ear as is or is not, doesn't matter. The absence of the sound means nothing here, but not the nature, not the human nature, right? The human nature is still there, regardless of the sound, or whether the sound, the voice, doesn't matter. The sound, the voice come and go, but the human nature, our ability to hear, is still there all the times. That's just our a pure nature there. So, like I used to mention about the analogy of hitting the bell, right? Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when the Buddha told Rahula to hit the bell and ask Ananda whether he hear the bell. So when um, uh, Rahula strike the bell, so Ananda said, "Yes, I heard," but after a while, there's no more sound for him. So when the Buddha asked, so Nanda, when Ananda said, "Oh no, I don't hear any sound." So the Buddha asked again and again. So later on, the Buddha admonished Ananda, what's going on? What's wrong with you? One moment you say you can hear the sound of the bell, another moment you say you don't. So what's going on? What's wrong with your hearing? Whether the sound of the bell is whether the sound of the bell is there or not, you still recognize. You still have the ability to recognize as a human nature there, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's absent of the sound or nothing here, not hearing the evolved nature. So the hearing nature is still there, right? Yeah. Yeah, please.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, next one.
Absence of sound is not the end of hearing, and sound, when present, is not its beginning. The faculty of hearing, beyond creation and annihilation, truly is permanent.
Hmm.
So I'm reading this, I find myself wondering if this is an analogy for, say, the appearance of this physical form as well. And it's like the awareness of this form um, doesn't like the awareness that's like aware of the form doesn't begin with the form and it doesn't end with the form
Hmm.
because that's like the essence of the Buddha nature. And with sound, it's just a really clear way to see it.
Yeah.
I've been practicing this since we um, have been talking about this since last time. And it's so interesting because like putting the attention on the breath, the feeling of the breath, totally different experience than putting it on sound because the like it's so non it's like so it's hard to describe like the field of sound. I kind of think about that sphere of sound awareness and go like returning to sometimes I can't hear the sounds I'm making because there's a fan blowing or something. And
Hmm.
so I'm using the question like, what is it that hears to like bring myself back to the awareness component.
Mhm.
And it's nice. It because I've thought about this practice in the past and never took it up because it seemed daunting. It seemed much more difficult than following my breath. But having been doing the breath practice for a while and studying this with you, it's approachable.
Mhm. That's what the Zen tradition they say the sound of one hand, right? The sound of one hand. Right? Usually they say, oh, when the claps of two hands together, we see hear the sound, but the sound of one hand there.
Mhm.
whether it's one hand, two hand, 10 hands, even without hand, the sound still there. I mean that the ability to hear the sound, that our pure nature is there. Mm. Yeah, it's always there. Yeah. That's why in some story that relate to Zen master, even the sound of the birds, uh, they still help them to attain awakening. I don't know whether I told you the story about one monk. So he approached to a Zen master and asked about the meaning of Zen, of Buddhism. And so the Zen master say, well, uh, where's your face before you was born? I told you before, right?
Yes,
What?
I've heard this one. We've talked about it before too. Yeah.
And at first he didn't understand. He's a good lecturer. He's good. Mm, um, mm, yeah, he good lecturer. He lectured Dhamma Sutra. So when the master asked him about this question, he didn't know how to respond. So when he went back to burn every commentaries about Dhamma Sutra and so forth, and he went up to the mountain to cultivate, to practice meditation. So one day he used the hole and hit that hole to um, the pepper, right? A small rock, the pepper, and they made the sound. So at that time he awake, he got awakening, and he went back to tell the master, yeah, I understand what you say now. Right? So he recognized the sound is there. The hidden nature is always there, whether we can recognize or not. That that's based on our wisdom. Yeah, yeah. Um. Okay. Yeah. The next one here, where even when isolated thoughts in the dreams arise, to the thinking process stop. Hearing does not end, for the faculty of hearing is beyond all thoughts, beyond both mind body. It's logical, right? When our thinking process stop, so the human nature is still there. It go beyond the body and the mind. It's still there, whether we hear or whether we pass away, whether we born in a celestial beings, whether we born even in Buddhist view, in the hell realm, our human nature is still there because it go beyond the thinking and the body, physical body. Mm. So yeah, that's just so critical in Buddhist view, right? But all the tradition is not easy, right? They come and go with the body, right? Um,
Mhm.
okay. Yeah, please. Next one.
In this Saha world, teaching is by voice. Living beings who cognize, not hearing's nature, follow sound to continue transmigrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if it's saying if we don't cognize the hearing nature, then we follow sound, and that propels rebirths. And that's very much like any sort of following any sort of sense phenomena when we don't see our, the underlying nature, and we pursue, different phenomena in order to for pleasure, for gain, or just to avoid loss. And so it propels us through rebirth.
Yeah. Ah, yeah. Every day, in every moment of our life, were we are influenced by audible voice, audible comments, audible expression, right? If it's positive toward us, we still happy, right? If it's negative, right? Like if they put us down orally, it's a bit mess for our life, right? It influence our mind and we cannot sleep well. So especially the young people, of course, because they are immature. So If some of them say something about how they look, right? Or how they wear the shoe, how they wear the clothes, and so forth, they will get mad. Mm,
Hmm.
yeah. Uh, it's not easy. It's not easy when we deal with negative comment. Even the Buddhists, the devout Buddhists. But as much as we focus on our mind on practicing our Dharma is wonderful. That's, I used to tell a story of a lady. She worked in a nail salon, and whenever she got some kind of negative comments, she would recite recompassion mantra. At that moment, her mind more peaceful. But when she got home and recall about the negative criticism from her customer or her clients, she got mad. And she said, wow, why am I so dumb? Why am I so stupid that I didn't react to them when they criticize me? You understand that? Because like in Buddhism, we say that it's like we use a rock to suppress the grass. Whenever
Hmm.
we remove the rock, the grass move up again, grow up again. So there's our affliction. Like when we recite Buddha name, when we recite the mantra, it's kind of suppression of the negative thought at that moment. But when we don't recite the Buddha names, when we don't recite the mantra and so forth, those kind of thought come up again.
Hmm.
That's why here the Buddha say that we will evolve in this samsara again and again based on the voice, right? Mm,
Yeah,
mm. Yeah, please.
makes sense. So
Oh, that's me, right?
yes.
Uh, through Ananda memorized all that he had. Here he could not avoid pervert thoughts. Uh, this to fall into samsara by clinging to the sound. Wise ready is one against the worry stream. Again, so Ananda, he has good memory, right? He could remember all the teaching the Buddha, but somehow he could not avoid his thinking thought, thinking, right? Pervade,
Hmm.
perverted thought, all kind of thinking, and that's why he and us fall into the samsara because we clean on the south, but all the arhat or holy monks, right? They won. It was won, so um yeah, they attain enlightenment because they didn't don't attach to the sound at all. Mm. Um, what do you think? Is just practicals for us in this kind of teaching that it's better not to attach to the sound, or is just so impractical in for our life as the Buddhists? What do you think?
Well, I mean, it certainly takes effort. Like it says here, whilst reality is one against the worldly stream.
Mm-hmm.
So if we just go with the current, then we're not going to be practicing that like attention to the hearing nature. We're going to be more of reacting to the sounds. Is it practical? I really think it is practical in the sense of if we choose to do it, like we can choose to do that practice,
Mm.
and in it we have to let go of pursuing phenomena in whatever forms it comes in, and it's just like do we choose to do that? But we generally live more, if we do take on that practice, we live more peaceful lives. We're not a cause of stress for the people around us. um, so I think it's practical. We can probably be even more effective in business
Mm-hmm.
because we're trustworthy, we're straightforward, we're relaxed, we're calm, we're honest. So I think it's very practical, but not automatically easy.
Mhm. So it's require a lot of practice so that we can let go of those kind of especially negative criticism, right?
Mhm.
That require a lot of strength, concentration, especially meditation, right? And even for the Buddhist leaders or any leaders, uh, mm, that they need to have this type of skill to let go of criticism, the negative one, the destructive one, not the positive one, so that they can focus on their goal, focus on their work, right? That's a skill. Well, that's a skill and the strength of a good leaders. If they cannot overcome those kind of negative criticism, they get stuck there and they fight back and forth, right? I guess that
Mhm.
with those type of fighting, those type of challenging, right? Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, please. Yeah.
Okay. Well, listen, Ananda. Listen closely. In the name of Buddha, I proclaim the Vajra King of Enlightenment, the inconceivable understanding that illusions are unreal, the true samadhi that begets all Buddhas.
Hmm.
Okay. So the Buddha's like calling Ananda to attention because he's going to share something very important.
Yeah. Uh, you know whether I told you the story of a princess. She liked to have a string of water bubble. You heard about that story yet?
A string of water bubbles? I don't think so.
Water bottle, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So this is the story about that princess. So one day the princess saw when the rain poured out, right? A lot of water bubble, right? Pop up on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So she mature. She's so immature that she asked her father's been the king uh, to make a stream of water bubble for her.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to like the string of beads, right? You string them
Mm-hmm.
together. So the king has no way for him to do that. So the king say there's no way. But the princess keep crying because of his love to her. So he made the announcement that whoever can make the string of water bubbles, I will give a big reward for you guys. So he made that announcement. Of course, no one can do that. So one
Mm-hmm.
day, there's one monk. He heard that announcement, and he went to see the king. Of course, he said that I could do that for your princess. So the king said, "Oh, that's great. So why don't you see the princess and wait for the rain? When the rain calm down, right? This is the when the rain, the water touched the ground, it raised some kind of water bubble there. So yes, the monk came to see the princess and wait for the rain. So when that the water, of course, the water bubble pop up. So he used the needles. You know, when you string the beads, you need to use a needle, right? So that you can string the beads together. So yes, the monk used the needle to poke the water bubble. In the similar way that he would string them together with the bees. So, but of course we know whenever he used needle to poke the water bubble, it will blow, it will pop, right? It will pop up, and seeing that the princess could not be patient at all because it's just repeat again and again so many times that whenever the water bubble was developed, so the monk kid used the needles to poke it and it pop like so many times until the princess say, well, I'm sorry, I don't want to do that anymore. So the monk say, yeah, that's okay. So this analogy say that mm, our life is like water bubble. It's like illusion. But for us, most of the time we see things as real, right? That's why we have the problem there. So here the Buddhas and all the Bodhisattva, they recognize us, but for us, we always see things that as real, and that's why we have all kind of problem by ourselves. Yeah. Okay. Um. Yeah. Excuse me. Can you give me one moment, please? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes. What happened? Oh yeah. Go. Yeah. Sorry, William. Can we end today because there's one family. Their mom just passed away. Yesterday.
Oh,
We need to talk a little.
okay. Yeah, certainly.
Thank you.
Ty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you next week then. Thank you.
All right. See you next week.
Yeah, thank you.